What's going on, everyone? So, we just got news. It's official. The Los Angeles Lakers are keeping the 17th pick in this year's draft. The New Orleans Pelicans have officially deferred to next season. So, this is important because it's good, right? One, the Lakers now get to either A, go and draft a guy, start doing those workouts, start putting together that process. Right? We've heard a couple murmurs, about like DJ Burns that they've kind of worked out, Bronny. But we haven't really heard the big, hey, the Lakers are bringing in these five guys. The Lakers are bringing in, these five guys and really be able to start breaking it out. And I also know a lot of you really want me to kind of break down various draft prospects and stuff like that and start those conversations. But this is kind of what I've been waiting for, right? Because what happens if they did defer? I know that, or they didn't defer. I know the word was like, hey, more likely than not, it's gonna stay this way where Lakers keep this year's pick, Pelicans defer. But there were some reports that were like, hey, the Pelicans are kind of weighing it. They may actually keep it. There's a lot of talks about the Pelicans potentially looking to kind of upgrade the roster, make some trades, potentially trade Brandon Ingram. So they might have looked at it as like, hey, we could use this year's pick also to kind of package something together. So I just kind of wanted to wait to let everything flush out before I started going into all these like prospects. Oh, let me talk about this guy, and then it's like, oh, well, we don't even have this year's pick. Now, I do want to say, even though I'm going to go through various players and stuff like that, I don't believe the Lakers are going to keep this year's pick. So it still might be a little redundant, but at least we know that the Lakers have the pick. So there is always that potential. There is always that possibility that the Lakers actually pick somebody. Where it's like, if they didn't have this year's pick, well, then we know that they're not picking anyway. So why are we going to go through the trenches? But I'll definitely be diving into people at number 55 as well. Because that pick, I think, will keep, especially if Bronny's not on the table, right? So it's going to be like this interesting, kind of like push and pull. It's like, can the Lakers figure out a way to get Bronny? If they can't, then what's plan B, right? Because plan A right now seems to be to get Bronny. Not at 17, right? I think if the again, I'm pretty confident the Lakers are going to trade that pick. I would be a little surprised if they kept it, right? That doesn't mean that they won't draft somebody and then trade it later, right? Like, also, sometimes you get, the spit in a handshake deals where it's like, hey, draft this guy for us, and then we'll go and ship him out. Example that's been kind of going around a lot lately because that team was in the conference finals is Jaden McDaniels, right? Where it was kind of like, hey, we're drafting this guy, but really it's for this guy. And then I think it was 3 days later, he was shipped out or whatever it was. I don't think it was on draft day. I could be wrong about that, but nonetheless, right? That probably is what happens, right? I mean, even like Jalen Hood-Schifino is more than likely not going to get shipped out. He's very likely going to be traded also. So I don't, I know a lot of people really want, like Zach Edey and, go get this guy, go get that guy, right? But problem is that you got to keep in mind the Lakers are looking to upgrade their roster now. The Lakers are looking to trade those picks. They're looking to get rid of those picks. So don't fall in love with somebody too much expecting that hey, this guy, man, I really can't wait. And then if the Lakers do draft that guy that you love, you're like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. And then 5 minutes later, he's traded. Just letting you know now, that's probably what's going to happen. So don't fall in love with any prospects or any picks that could potentially be in that 17 range. Because more likely than not, the Lakers are not going to keep that pick. The Lakers are going to ship that pick out. Now, again, the second round pick, the 55th pick, that is something that I could definitely see the Lakers actually drafting and using and keeping and throwing into their pool of just roster spots and two ways and all that stuff, right? They're development guys. So I do think we're going to get that development piece. I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers acquire a second somehow, some way. I know that there's new rules with it, but it's only for I think second cap paper teams, right? So I believe that they still can go trade a second or buy a second. Otherwise, they could just swap picks because any apron team, it's salaries, but picks you could just kind of flop around. So they could do something where hey, we'll give you 2 seconds, 2 future seconds for this one, right? And maybe that's how they draft Bronny, and then they draft Bronny, and then they have the 55th pick, or maybe they take the 55th and something else and make that work. There's always gray area. There's always workarounds. There's always outlaws, right? That's why, like, whenever people are like, "Oh, how can this happen?" Like, trust me, if there's a will, there's a way. There's always somebody that finds something. We didn't think that we'd ever. I mean, look at the Kevin Durant to the Warriors thing. Like, that was a complete entire workaround that just lined up perfectly. If you got a good GA, you got somebody that understands the ins and outs and the nuances, then that's they'll be able to figure it out. Now, again, I don't necessarily think that they're just going to go overboard with picks or anything like that. But I'm just saying in general, like, I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers, they trade the 17th pick, they keep or move off of their 55th pick to kind of move up in the draft somehow, and then they end up taking, maybe it's the 40th pick or something like that, right? And now they got the 40 pick. Maybe that's how they draft Bronny, or maybe they go get somebody else. But my guess is in the second round, Bronny is the priority, and then it's everyone else station. So I'll do a video on Bronny, and we'll do a video kind of updating on like what's going on with him in the combine and stuff, and then I'll touch on various other things. But based on the reports, like, just to kind of give you a little look ahead, based on the reports, Bronny's been killing it, and they say he's probably moving his way into the first round now at this point. And I guess him to the Suns is a real thing. Like, the Suns are really actually interested in potentially drafting Bronny, with or without the allure of attracting LeBron. I mean, obviously they'd love to like convince LeBron to come. Again, I don't think LeBron's leaving. That's one of those things that I'd be genuinely surprised if he leaves, especially this year. He's going to sign a new contract. It'll be okay. But in general, kind of looping it all back together, I'm glad that the Lakers get to keep the 17th pick, because now it's like, okay, if they took this year's pick, well, now it kind of makes everything else a little trickier, especially via trades and stuff, where now it's just pretty much straightforward, right? It's like you got 17th pick, gets 2 other firsts, got a couple pick swaps in between, you got 5 seconds, right? So I think it's something like 3 firsts, two pick swaps, and 5 seconds, I think, is what the Lakers have at their disposal. So now you kind of like, hey, here we go. Let's go. You got Rui, you got Reeves, you got Vando, which there's a lot of talks about them potentially trading Vando, which I don't really like the idea of trading Vando. I think that should kind of, like, out of all the guys on the list, Vando to me is like at the top to not be traded, right? I think Vando is like, I'm not saying he's untradeable. I'm not saying he's untouchable, right? But I think that if you're trading him, you have to, it's either A, for like a Donovan Mitchell, or B, you're getting back some type of maybe not as good defensively, but like a legit two-way guy, right? Like Dorian Finney-Smith or something like that. But just Jared Vanderbilt, I don't know, but I've talked about him enough. My point is that like you have the assets now with the defer of the pick to next year, right? Now the Lakers have a 17th pick this year. Now you have that along with the pick swaps, along with the rest of the first round picks, along with a bunch of seconds. Lakers should be able to get some stuff done, right? What will that be? Will it be the star? Will it be the role players, right? Because there have been a couple of reports recently that are like, hey, we prefer depth over the star route. I believe if the Lakers can get a star, they will get a star. It's the Lakers, for one. Secondly, they're looking at post-LeBron James. I mean, even Rich Paul said, right? At this point, they shouldn't be worried about building around LeBron. They should be building around Anthony Davis. It's what the Lakers have been doing. It's been all this smoke, all this talk. They've been looking for another star since last year, right? Like, it's not like all of a sudden it's like, oh, we'll change it up. So, to me, I don't buy the whole, like, oh, they really want depth. I think if there's nothing there, they might go make a move for, like, some quality upgraded depth. But if they can land a Trey, whether we like it or not, they're going to go get Trey, right? If they can get a Donovan Mitchell, whether we like it or not, they're going to go get a Donovan Mitchell. It just depends. But now they're one step closer to that direction in order to do that. So it's good. But Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Are you happy? Glad that, hey, they deferred the 17th pick. This is great because now, now we can go and make those trades, make those moves, whatnot. So somebody in particular you want them to draft. Again, don't get too high on whoever you like at 17 because that person's probably getting traded. So just keep that in mind. Don't fall in love with, oh man, I really like this guy. This is the guy we need to take. I already see people now that are like, you need to get Kyle, you need to get, where, you get to get whoever, right? Like, get these guys because this is the guy that's going to change the Lakers' fate. And it's like, even if they do draft that guy, he's probably gone. So look more second round guys for you're like, hey, that's the guy I want on the Lakers. But like I said, we'll start breaking some guys down now. So look forward to that. Just, again, wanted to wait for the confirmation before I put the cart before the horse, so to speak. But anyway, again, love your thoughts, opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.